Alright, Chapter 15, Guidelines for Enforcement and Mechanical Requirements for Rail Grinding Equipment. Subsequent to an accident in November 2016 involved with the rail grinding set, the corresponding investigation for the Railroad Administration there had been several inquiries about proper application of regulatory statutory requirements of the type of the equipment involved with the incident rail grinding set of their unique and warrant different treatment of self-propelled vehicles that are considered locomotive under the federal regulation. Two major U.S. operated the rail grinding train set are Loram and Harrisco. The major railroads are operating with only their own rail grinding equipment. The typical configuration of rail grinding train sets are noted. And next page is locomotive powered grinding trains, powered rail grinding units. The following are guidelines to enforcing various requirements that apply with the rail grinding sets. Guidelines for Enforcement of Mechanical Requirements, Title 49, U.S. Standard Code 20701, Locomotive Inspection Act, the power unit and location of the control stand of the rail grinding set. Each constitute a locomotive under the statute but not in regulations. Title 49 CFR Part 229, Rail Locomotive Safety Standards, or RLSS, do not apply to the rail grinders because the locomotive regulated on Part 229 do not include specialized mode maintenance equipment. The Locomotive Inspection Act permits the FRA to right violation of the locomotive tender and as part of the approvals are not in proper condition safe to operate to determine whether a power unit or a location of the control stand is safe to operate. The FRA may use the regulatory provision, including the contained with Part 229 as a guideline. FRA inspects commonly make and safely determined based on an observation of equipment and records as well as an industry regulatory and experience. After determining that the power unit or the location of the control standing is unsafe to operate with, the FRA should cite only in statute, not the regulation, when recommendation of violation. Although Part 229 does not apply to the rail grinding set, the regulatory should be ignored in assessing the safety of the equipment. The safety rationale supporting regulatory requirements, particularly to those contained in Part 229 Subpart C, may be relevant to rail grinding sets because the equipment is being used in a similar manner. The FRA may frame a violation statute using the facts that was commonly said of support a violation of federal regulations. For example, if the FRA discovers a rail grinding set with 3-inch flat spots on a wheel R1 for the power unit, it would be proper for the violation report to state that the power unit of the rail grinding set is not safe to operate with required in Title 9 U.S. Standard Code 20701 because wheel R1 has a 3-inch flat spot. Running this rail grinding set of the flat spots with the size that could lead to derailment. This is not part of the Title 29 violation. Title 29 violation must be defective condition that makes the power unit of the locomotion control the stand and unsafe to operate. If, an example, the FRA is using a wheel requirement for the Title 49 CFR Part 229.75, the inform the safety assessment of the equipment to describe that the violation or the defective condition under Part 229 may not make the power unit of the location of the control stand unsafe to operate. For example, if it would be very, very difficult to argue with the defective step light makes it the power unit with the location of the control stand was unsafe to operate. Ultimately, the FRA inspector is responsible for explaining the violation report which may defect makes the power unit of the location of the control stand unsafe to operate. Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20302 Safety Appliance Act. The rail grinding set are trains under the statute but are not regulations. The power brake portion of the statute applies to the rail grinding set. Specific requirements Title 49 CFR Part 232 are not applicable. Section 20302A4 requires that the locomotive being equipped with a power-driven wheel brake and appliance for the operating train brake system. 50% of the equipment brake requirements. Section 20302A5 requires that at least 50% of the vehicle in the train be equipped with a power brake. That all vehicles on an associated train line that are equipped with the power brake shall have their brakes used and operated by the engineer. 100% operative brake equipment. As all the things units of the railway grinding set are equipped with the power brakes are on associated train line. The statute requires that 100% of the vehicles in the train have operative brakes unless they are being removed for repair under section Title U.S. Standard Code 20303. Brake inspection because the railway grinding set are subject to Section 20302A5. The FRA expects the railroad operators for the equipment to have an inspection regime in place that will ensure the crew operating with the equipment and be aware of whether the brakes are in compliance with the applicable statute requirements. Other safety appliance and requirements Section 20302A2 and A1 and A2 require that the vehicles be equipped with efficient handbrakes, sill steps, other safety appliances to ensure the safety of employees as they mount and dismount on equipment except those compliance standards and addressed by Title 49 U.S. CFR Part 231. See discussion below. The FRA should cite only the statute for the violation of this type. Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20303, Safety Appliance Act, Section 20303, which restricts the use of the movement of the vehicle with defective inoperative safety appliances, only permits the movement of the vehicle with defective safety appliances to the nearest available place where the necessary repairs can be performed. If the power brakes are discovered defective at the location where the repairs are routinely made, repairs required to be made before the vehicles depart the location. Similarly, if the brakes have become defective en route, the rail grinding set may be moved, but only for the purpose of repair in the nearest location where the necessary repairs can be made. Guidelines for determining the location where necessary repairs can be performed and can be found in Title 49 CFR 232.15F. The FRA should cite only the statute violation for this type, the Type 49 CFR Part 231 Safety Appliance Regulation. Due to their unique design, the purpose of the rail grinding set is considered with the care of special construction under Title 49 CFR 231.18. Therefore, they are required to have, as nearly as possible, based on the design limitations of the vehicle, the same complement of handhold sill steps, ladders, and brakes and running boards is required by the car for the nearest approximate type, as would any of equipment covered in Title 49 CFR Part 231. And additional safety appliances on equipment must comply with the requirements of Title 49 Part 231. Alright, guidelines for enforcement of the road maintenance machine requirements. Title 49, Part 214, railroad workplace safety. The rail grinding set must comply with the Title 49 CFR Part 214, Subpart C and D. Subpart D, on-track roadway maintenance machines on high rail vehicles contain various requirements regarding the safety equipment required to be on such machine, as well as provision related to the design, operation. Subpart C, the roadway protection, include the training requirements that apply with the operator's rail grinding set. These requirements are intended to prevent accidents and casualties. For convenience, the attached chart of the application of the Title 49 CFR Part 214 Subpart D summarizes the most significant provisions of Title 49 Part 214 Subpart D that have been traditionally applied onto the on-track roadway maintenance machines, or RMMS. It is intended to be all inspective, and it should be noted in addition with the more stringent requirements in CFRF. The railroad safety statutes may also apply. For example, when railway grinding sets are moved over the road, the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20302 or 20303 apply. Recommendation of the violation against a rail grinding set should be based on the same supporting facts, citing the same pertinent regulatory provisions of other equipment covered in Title 49 CFR Part 214. Guidelines for enforcement of operating practice requirements. Title 49 CFR Part 240 Qualification Certification of Locomotive Engineers. The rail grinding set that constituted specialized roadway maintenance equipment. The railway grinding set likely must be specialized maintenance equipment. You are unique in both in the design and operation. Required certified locomotive engineer to operate such equipment when it's moved from one work site to another, and would be operational, restrictive, and potential unsafe in some instances. And a locomotive engineer and certified under Part 240 would not be familiar with the specific operation specialized maintenance equipment. Safety is better served by a permit and individual familiar with a specific piece of equipment to operate from one work site to another, aid of pilot and where appropriate. And although federal regulations do specifically address the territorial qualification of either the operator or any pilot that may be used for the operating specialized maintenance equipment, the FRA believes that the safe railroad dictates the individual should be qualified, familiar with the territory over which the equipment will be operated. The FRA strongly recommends and encourages the use of individuals that are qualified on the territory over which the equipment will be operated when such equipment is traveling to and from a work site. Application Title 49 CFR Part 214 Subpart D. Note there are additional and more stringent requirements applicable in this equipment. The owner and the operator in this part own other parts of the CFR of the Railroad Safety Statutes, particularly Title 49 CFR Part 232, Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Section 2302 and 20303. This chart is not intended to be an all-inclusive, provided with a helpful summary of the requirements in Subpart D. The Part 214 should be used in conjunction with the regulatory text to determine the compliance with the subpart. Alright, just a bacon 360-degree warning light, braking light, reflective material, reflective device, braking system, changing of the direction, alarm, daily inspection, fire extinguisher, first aid kit, flagging equipment, requirement, head light, head of the eating ventilation, horn, lightweight, display, operator's seat or position in standing, record of effective conditions, rear ward viewing device, safety and secure position, handholds, handrails are secure set for the workers transported on machine, protection for more machine moving parts, safety and secure position for the rider's identification, stenciling or other written notice if applied, safety glass wipers, safety footing, secure footing and floor, deck, stairs and ladders, specific speed indicator tag device, towing, work lights, and those were the ones. Chapter 16 is going to have to wait for another day. It is about it's a couple pages long, I guess. Um, I will read chapter 16, but that will be later.